Hi, I'm Campbell and welcome to Wind Up Wine Reviews. We are in Sainsbury's today, one of their fairly new Taste the Difference range. With Taste the Difference in the last sort of couple of years, Sainsbury's have really upped their game. They're working with some cracking producers in a lot of different regions, and it represents really good value across much of what they do. This one in particular is a Valpolicella Ripasso. I will have to wine geek a little bit to explain that. The back label is very helpful, which is another feature of the new Taste the Difference wines. Really useful information at the back, which we can only encourage. It's one of my long-running frustrations with wine is sometimes I don't even speak the language of what's at the back of the wine, and even if I do, it doesn't have a lot of useful information. But this has got a little basic guide to what Ripasso means. Basically, if you've ever had an Amarone, which is a much bigger wine than this, Amarone uses a method whereby the grapes, overwhelmingly the Corvina grape, is dried, usually in sort of rooftop type areas, so that the grapes kind of raisin a little bit. They get much more concentrated, and the flavor profile is a little bit sweet, prunes, bit of raisin in there, little hints of dark cherry, and it's got a very different flavor profile to most red wines. I really love Amarone, particularly when I don't know what I fancy or I fancy something a bit different. Whereas a normal Valpolicella is very different to an Amarone because it's much cleaner, much purer. The grapes aren't dried in the same way, and the Ripasso is kind of somewhere in between. So if you give it a little swirl and a sniff, then comes through quite big. You can get a hint of that sweetness in there. And when you give it a taste, it does taste almost halfway between a straight Valpolicella and an Amarone. I would recommend it if you've ever been curious about Amarone and thought, it's usually 20-25 quid, that might be quite a lot to commit to. This bottle is RRP 11. I bought it at 10, and then with a 25% discount, £7.50. At 11 or 10 pounds, I would give this a Wes score of 6. But at £7.50, it would go up a rung. I'd buy it if I was buying a mixed case of 6. Then I think for £7.50, it's very drinkable, especially if you're curious about Italian wines. I think this is a very nice wine. If you'd like to know what Amarone tastes like, then this is kind of getting towards it. My personal preference would be I think I'd rather have either a Valpolicella or an Amarone. This is trying to be half pregnant and has got stuck a little bit between the two. But if you forget about all the fluff and waffle about what Valpolicella or Ripasso or Amarone means, it's a nice wine. I wouldn't buy it at £11, but I think I'd be very happy to buy it again at £7.50. Cheers.